This is me in the forest chasing light, but not just any light, the kind that gives a wood knot its story. In photography, light is everything, and learning to see it starts way before you even press the shutter. Like the way it hits the leaf of a young lemon tree, how it flickers on water, or reveal the shadows on the moss growing on a tree. You don't need perfect conditions, you just need to pay attention. It's not about rushing to the shot, it's about slowing down and beginning to see. Sometimes it's how my shadow moves across the bark of a tree, or how light reveals the inside of a broken trunk. I use whatever I have on me, foil, my hand, even a butter knife, just to bounce enough light into the details I want to bring out. Whether it's a small mushroom or a patch of moss, things that don't really look like much until the light hits them the right way. Now I'm pretty excited about this shot because I think I'm going to be able to reveal a lot of texture. So what I'm going to do next, I just put the camera on a tripod and did a basic composition. I'm going to put some LED lights right behind the subject and I'm going to guide you through what I'm seeing in terms of obviously composition, but especially lighting. So let's do that. The first thing I like to do when I arrived on any scene is slightly underexpose the shot. It gives me room to add lighting and really bring out the small details. Here, I started by placing one light on the right side to reveal some highlights, then added another on the opposite side to balance it out. Checking the back of your LCD while adjusting the light is key. It helps shape the light exactly how you want it. For the third light, I narrowed the beam to light just the top of the subject without spilling too much into the foreground. At that point, the composition felt a bit flat, so I added some small twigs in the background to create a V shape and help draw the eye to the center of the frame. Now I feel like there's something missing in the bottom of the frame, so I grab a small twig right here that I'm going to place right here to fill the bottom of the frame. It probably took me around 30 minutes to set up the shot and now it's just started snowing. I think it would still be interesting maybe if I only take one shot, but right now I need to focus bracket the image because I want all the subject in focus, and some of them will have snow on it, some of them will not, and I'm not sure it's going to stitch well in post-processing. But luckily, the weather cleared out just enough for me to grab the shot without snow falling in the background. I decided last minute to hold a small light cube towards the subject just to fill in a few shadows and bring out a bit more depth to the shot. For my next subject, I'm going to compare natural light with artificial light to show you how lighting can really shape an image. And about last shot, let me know what you think in the comments and feel free to share how you like to light your subjects. So as you can see, it's pouring rain right now. Now this tree is really interesting. It really caught my attention because there's literally thousands of mushrooms on it. I think they call them turkey tail mushrooms. So I think starting with lighting your subject first a little bit with only one light can really help you make a more interesting composition because you're going to be able to see before even putting your camera on the tripod how the shot might look like. So what's interesting here is that some of the mushrooms catches a lot of water and they're very saturated. I almost packed up everything probably 30 minutes ago and went home, but I'm happy I stayed because I think I'm going to be able to make a really interesting composition here. Alright, so I have my composition dialed in, and what's interesting about this shot is the way the mushrooms are laid on top of each other. Basically, it kind of forms an arc, and I think they're visually appealing. I'm gonna dial the exposure down, probably like 2 to maybe 3 stops, and I'm gonna play with this light and try to reveal some texture and try to see where the light is gonna complement the shot the best. Look at the effect of the lighting when I just simply move the light up and down. I think I want a lot more detail on the top mushroom. I think the mushroom in the bottom will only complement the shot by, drawing the eye upward to the subject, which will be the top mushroom. And if I move the light a little bit closer, just like that, I think the bark is really distracting. So I want to lit up the side of the mushroom, but not the bark. So I'm gonna fade it just like that. And now you can see how having a small light source can really make a huge difference, especially in macro photography, because we're dealing with tiny subjects and a slight movement of the light can really make or break the image. So here, before I started adding light, I took a quick reference shot using only natural light, just so I have a clean comparison that I'll show you in a moment. Some of you might actually prefer that version, and that's totally fair. But for me, this is all about exploring how we can interact with light, how we can shape it, direct it, and use it to bring out the details that matter to us. So now I'm ready to take the shot. The 3 lights are in place. I'm gonna add up 1 more light just to brighten up the scene a little bit. I'm gonna focus tag the image. I'm probably gonna take like 30 to 40 images. I always like to take a few more in order to make sure I have everything I need in post-processing. So let's take the shot and let me know what you think of this one. Every time I shoot like this, it's never about getting the shot, it's about seeing. The way the light shifts when I move, how shadow slides across my hands, it all comes back to the way I look at things. Even when I'm just walking from one subject to the next like right now, my eyes are still working, and that's the beauty of it. You don't stop learning just because the camera is not in your hand. Alright, so what I'm gonna do now is take my camera and walk handheld around the subject and try to find an interesting angle, an interesting point of view. And once I'm happy with the composition, I'm gonna put the camera on the tripod and start playing with lighting. Alright, so now as for the lighting, I know a lot of you guys are asking about what kind of lighting that I'm using. Well, I'm using all sorts of lighting, light panels like these, small cube light like these, but obviously I love to use these flexible LED lights because first, they're really easy to place wherever I want. The light source is really small, so I'm able to, create some micro contrast because in macro photography, like I said earlier, the smaller the light source, the easier it is to create these micro contrasts because even small cubes light like these act like a giant softbox when put close to small subjects. You're also able to set up the beam angle. So if you want to learn a little bit more about these, I'll put a link in the description. Alright, so I just set up the composition, and what I like about this knot is all the wood fiber that are kind of spinning all around the knot, and I think I'm going to be able to reveal some texture with this light again. For this one, I just want to lit the side of the cone right here just a little bit, and I don't want to lit too much of the bottom because I don't want to draw the attention to the bottom of the frame, but only slightly the cone, just like that. Alright, so now that the shot is well lit, I want to show you something. When I put my hand on this side, I'm blocking a lot of natural light, and I think it's going to give a nice effect because it's going to help, shape the shot and give a nice 3D effect because I think there's too much natural lighting on this side. So I'm going to take one shot, putting my hand like that, and I'm going to show you another shot without my hand, so you're going to be able to see the difference. To be honest, this small subject didn't really catch my eye at first. But when you take time to treat a subject with your full attention and care, sometimes you're rewarded with a solid image. I could have stopped after setting up my 2 LEDs, but just adding my hand to block a bit of light made the shot way more dramatic and to me a lot more interesting. This whole video, every shot I've taken came down from doing one simple thing: slowing down. When you train your eyes for light, you're not just learning photography, you're learning to see textures, rhythm, and stillness. And honestly, to see yourself a little more deeply too. Because this isn't just a technique, it's a practice, a way of being. So don't wait for the perfect setup, just go out there, look, try something new, and most of all, keep moving.